I am Drew. Welcome to the Beggars Woodshop. Let's move on with this series and get right to the Biscuit jointer. Not everyone's favorite, but we're still going to do it. That's coming up right here on the Beggars Woodshop. Come on inside.
This program has been made possible by contributions from our viewers. Thank you.
Okay, I know in a previous video I said the biscuit joiner for the Shopsmith is not the most practical. And I'll stand by that statement. And I'll hopefully prove that on the Mark IV. But I acquired one. And after doing a lot of cleaning to it, although I admit it wasn't as much as some of the other machines, I've got things set up. Yes, I know this is a discontinued accessory, but that is okay, because there are going to be some of you who, well, you got one, and you'd like to try it out. Well, I'm going to show you what the setup, and exactly how we get started with things, including what to do if there's no abrasive pad right here. So let's get started. Most likely your cutter head is inside your biscuit joiner. You're going to remove this bottom panel with 4 screws. If everything is separately attached, like mine is, we're going to take the blade, put it in place, making sure that all of the text is pointing upwards, making sure everything is going the correct direction. If I've screwed this up, you will be the first one to know. I have a wrench holding the part that attaches to the quill, and as I put on this final piece in between and apply my screw with a 5/32 Allen wrench, I will make sure to hold the regular wrench so that everything is secured together. The instructions show that you can do this on a vise as well. Now I place it inside, being careful not to move it around too much. These are carbide tipped. Now, I put on the front panel, or bottom panel I should say, and apply my screws with a simple screwdriver. That should be correct. Okay. You'll notice all of this right in here. There's a lot to uncover. First, you've got, of course, a little spiky part that's sticking out. That's to really grip into the wood. You have a piece here that's actually holding springs and everything. And then you got a little piece here. That actually fits in a little 5/32 and adjusts the depth for the biscuit you need. What biscuit? Well, consult your manual. In fact, there are little indicators here at the top that actually show which biscuit you would be using. So you would line them up both sides. I'm sure there's an easy way to do it. We'll go over it again if we have to with the manual. However, there's one last thing that yours may or may not have. That's an abrasive pad right here in the front. Well, if you don't have this, I got a solution for you. Take a piece of spray paper? No. Take a piece of sandpaper. I'd say about 180 grit, give or take. At least that's what it looks like it's on here. Or is that 275? Either way, I'll put it down below what you want. Spray the back of it with an adhesive. Something, whichever you prefer. And we're going to apply it across the front. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. You have a line here. That line cannot be covered. So you want to be to the left or right, depending on which side you're on, of that line. You also want to make sure that you're not covering up these holes. So you kind of have a little bit of a pattern that does that. Okay? Let's apply that. you want to make sure you have the right tool for the job. On the right, you can obviously see that I was using the wrong kind of blade, while on the left, I was using scissors. See the difference? I may go back in with the blade to try to even it up for the blade to come through, but no worries. Let's move on to the next step. This slot on the side is to allow you to attach the blade to the main quill with your 5/32 Allen wrench. It may fight you a little, but nothing too challenging. The main accessory is attached in the same way as the lower saw guard for the table saw. You may have to lower the quill to connect the dust collection you have, but not too much. The less extension on older models like mine, the better. Now, let's bring up the table and carriage. While I'm making sure everything is perfectly parallel, it's not essential for the cuts I demonstrate. Alright, I got a piece of wood that we can test this with, and I want everyone to remember, I'm bringing my dial up to T. This is extremely fast. So with that being said, let's take a moment before we go chopping and hacking to talk about safety. Read the manuals that come with the power tools. The more you understand and follow those manuals, the less likely you are to cause personal injury either to yourself or someone else. Hearing protection in this case is a must. We don't want to go deaf while we're still young. But of course the greatest protection you can take? Eye protection. You will be thankful the day these come in handy. Let's just hope it never does. Alright, let's get started. Put everything into the standard position, clamp my stock down. It doesn't say to do this, but I'm recommending it, and I believe I saw the Nick Engler video do this some time ago. Everything is aligned, and now you're seeing why I don't think it's fully practical. At least one of the ways it's not practical. I'm going to bring it up to speed. I got one hand over here just in case, and I have to lower my table doing this. Yeah, not fun. Here we go. While everything has cut successfully, ladies and gentlemen, I am not recommending this method. I recently had a talk with Scott over at My Growth Reins, who also had been demonstrating the Biscuit joiner, and I mentioned the clamping. He mentioned on older models, while lowering the table is more dangerous. Newer models, you sort of can, but it's still not recommended. I personally don't recommend it. If you're going to keep the table flat and the whole machine in its normal operation, and you want to lower a piece onto your biscuit cutter that way, set up a straight edge using your miter gauge and lower the piece, not the table, just the piece. But again, this method is not recommended, period. Okay? I've stated before, the biscuit jointer that Shopsmith has is not the most practical. This is a place where it's definitely not the most practical. Does it have its use? Absolutely. But 9 times out of 10, just get yourself a handheld one, okay? With that being said, let me show you the project we're going to work on next time. I show you how to sharpen your lathe chisels using this old Shopsmith jig. And that's next time, right here on the Beggars Woodshop.